So my this thing is up. Show run access list. Nothing is there. I create an access list. Out underscore in permit TCP 172.16.10.0 255.255.255.0 to access 10.1.1.0 255.255.255.0 equal to 23 21 80 and 443 suppose. And also I want echo access group out underscore in interface outside. Ten dot one dot one dot two. Let's check. Working fine. Let's check if access list is hit. Yes, there is a hit count for telnet. Cisco. Enable Cisco. Shows you in detail. Connection is coming. But you see, it's trying to access a server and there is no authentication. So now we are going to create an access list for authentication. The name of the access list is auth permit IP. IP means all the traffic is included. To come on 0. And then I create an authentication where I point out match auth for all the outside people. And what I'm going to follow, what I'm telling my firewall to follow is the local database. AAA authentication match auth. That means anytime if anybody means if these people try to access these people, that time you do authentication and you consider local database. So I create a local database. Shiva. Okay, just write it down. Now again you see when I did first time, there was just that time he was asking me the password. This time when I did, he's asking me username. So I give, and then I give password. You see, he's telling this username is wrong. You are. Password Cisco. Now this password is telnet password. This username and password is the authentication which is trying to do. Okay. So show AAA. Show authentication. Some command is there. Show who. Sorry. This fellow is logged in. Once again we try to exit. Three. Why is not asking? So long. We authenticated with the word Shiva. See, already he'll keep for some timeout. We call it timeout. Timeout. You auth, because see, this fellow authenticated himself to ASA with the username Shiva and password. So that will remain for some time. What is the timeout of that? The default time is 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You can see. Idle time after which an authentication will no longer be cached and the user will need to re-authenticate their connection. The default is 5. The default on UAuth timer is absolute. Okay. So we need to change it. Once again we'll see. See now again he's asking me username. Shiva. Password Cisco. Cisco. Enable Cisco. Okay. Now if I exit, try to see. Every time he's asking me password. So what exactly show login? So this time see earlier Shiva authenticated himself. Shiva got succeeded. This is called cut through proxy. After that, the second user that logged it, Khan. Once again we'll do. This time the username is Khan only. Mirza. Password Cisco. Cisco. So when I say show logging, this time say Mirza succeeded. Again I'll do Mirza, but he gave some wrong password. Mirza gave some wrong password. Mirza, he gave some wrong password. Maximum number of tries exceeded. Mirza, password Cisco. Cisco. User rejected. Invalid password. Outside host 10.1.1.2. Trying to access DMZ 10.1.1.3. Authentication started for user. AAA user authentication rejected. Reason invalid password. Again, Mirza came. This time he gave the right password. Session successful. Succeeded. Cut through proxy. Clear? So what was this? Actually, we try to receive users from outside, and we want this branch users to authenticate first. So what I did, I created an access list pointing towards users, and when they go for servers, what was the command I gave? AAA authentication. First step is you have to create an access list. If you don't create an access list, it will not accept the second command. So the first command is access list for matching this authentication, not for allowing this traffic. I said IP, that doesn't mean they'll be allowed for everything. They'll be allowed only for all those things which you have created in the access list. Only TCP and ICMP traffic will be allowed. In TCP also, whatever you have allowed, that only. Okay. If they were having some browser, if these users were having some browser, they can even connect through browser. They'll get the username authentication. With the help of Microsoft, they'll get the on screen only. Like if they try to visit Google, they'll first have to authenticate themselves, and then only they can visit Google. This was for all the outside users. Now I said authentication 1 permit, or I can say LAN auth permit IP, all the users who go to internet, or you can say any AAA authentication, or we'll just remove this or let it be. Say I say AAA authentication match LAN underscore auth. Traffic is from inside, and they have to follow the local database. It is in capital. Huh? It will not work if you give small letters. So I'm not giving this initially, and let's see. First, all the LAN users can do what? Telnet. Yes. They are being asked only for password. After doing this, if they try to do, you see username, Cisco, Cisco. Show connection detail. Connection is active. Who is the user? 192 is trying to do telnet. And when I say show logging, you can see username Khan from 192 168 10.2. What is the group policy? Default group policy. There is some default group. Cut through proxy. Cut through proxy. If you are really going out, first you have to go to the proxy server, get it checked. Who is the proxy now? The ASA firewall is going to do authentication for all the connections which are coming from inside and going outside. So he is matching that access list. Last time the word keyword was outside, and this time the keyword is inside. Outside, this time the keyword is inside. If I do AAA authentication, LAN, DMZ, permit, sorry, access list, DMZ, authentication, permit, IP, 0, AAA authentication, match, DM, so run AAA, DMZ authentication, DMZ local, so run, now in this I think there is some different command, I forgot, 1 minute, huh? I have to see the sheet. Authentication for all the outgoing traffic from DMZ. No. So the keyword is inside. AAA authentication match. See, so I did a mistake. I said DMZ. Now when I'm going to use DMZ, like all the traffic which is coming from outside to this server will have a keyword of outside. Once again, I'll show you with the diagram. So don't get confused. See now, traffic is coming from outside and visiting server. So the keyword is outside. Traffic is coming from inside and visiting outside. So the keyword is what? Inside. Both the statement are there. Outside, when the traffic from 172 is coming on server. Inside, when the LAN traffic is visiting outside. So what is the direction? ASA ASA should authenticate inside users when they go out. ASA should authenticate inside users when they go to DMZ. Got it? If you want all this server also, when they go out, they should get authenticated. Then the name will be like that: DMZ auth, or I say DMZ1 auth permit IP 10.1.1.0 255.255.255.0, and I say any. and then I say AAA authentication match DMZ1 underscore auth DMZ local. So show run AAA. So I have two policies for inside users when they go out, when they go in servers, for all the outside users when they come on server, and this is for all the servers when they visit outside to get updates, like antivirus server going outside for updates. ASA will authenticate. So let's see who is the server. 5 and 6. 172.16.10.2. Username Shiva. Username Shiva. Wrong password. Username Shiva. Password Cisco. Shiva. Cisco. Cisco. So you got branch host connected. Show CONN detail. Connection is successful from the server towards outside. And when I say show logging, I can see there are a lot of failures. Rejected. From 10 to 172.16. Authentication failed for user so and so. After that, successful authentication. Default means inbuilt policies. You can also edit those inbuilt policies. That is more flexible in GUI. Shiva got successful through cut through proxy. Why it is said cut through proxy? Whenever you try to visit out, this fellow comes and says, I am going out on internet. Wait. First, you have to get yourself authenticated. So the connection is cut. Many times earlier we used to have TechX server or Radius server here. So he said, wait, I'll first find out you are user or not on this server. If you are user, wait. Meanwhile, he will bring Google. Keep ready. Once he is authenticated, immediately he'll get Google. Like immediately he will get Google. ASA will make it a point that Google is ready with him. Only thing is he wants this guy to get himself authenticated. How? Through proxy. Who is the proxy? The server. Which server? Earlier we used to have TACAX server, Radius server. We call it ACS, Access Control Server. Access Control servers are carrying these protocols. Which protocols? Radius and TACAX. What is the difference between both? What is the full form? Remote authentication dial-in user, open standard, proprietary, UDP based, TCP based. It encrypts only password, it encrypts username and password. It encrypts only password. So Radius not so good. It encrypts both. What is the meaning of this? Many times the server is not located in your LAN. It's in outside data center. So traffic might go through internet, no? To that server for authentication. ASA might send this outside. That time internet is used. Internet is not safe. So if it encrypts only password, risky, no? It encrypts username and password, more secure. In our case, it is in LAN only, suppose. Suppose my server is in LAN only. So it's okay. But if the server is outside, then it's not okay. So that time it becomes important to use or to choose the protocol. UDP port number 1812 for authentication and 1813 for accounting. What is the meaning of open standard and Cisco proprietary? You already know. If you have non-Cisco devices, you can use it with this server, because this is, now always remember, whenever we talk of, see in your general this thing, the idea behind authentication is like that. This fellow is called as what? Supplicant. Always remember. Supplicant means client which is going to authenticate himself. If suppose this is switch, in our case it is now ASA. So this guy is now server in our case, who is going to authenticate. But suppose if you have AAA server, there were a lot of names for this server. AAA server. Some people used to call it as ACS, Access Control Server. Some people call it as Cisco ACS, Cisco, or you can say CSACS. We used to have, I have implemented this many times. Cisco Secure Access Control Server. Or many times people used to say Radius Server or Takax Server or AAA Server. Anything you can say. And one more name for this is what? Authentication Server. Authentication Server. And this guy is what? Authenticator. Authenticator. He is acting like a mediator, you can say, agent. Actually, this guy is communicating with this guy. But there is no direct communication, no? So this guy might be a switch, ASA, router. These are, now these are the clients for this server. Authentication clients. So who's going to connect? This user is connecting to this guy, and then finally this guy is connecting to this guy. This guy is called supplicant, the PC. One who authenticate himself is a supplicant. Clear? In our case, we don't have this server now. So who is authenticating? With the local database ASA. Otherwise, supplicant is actually getting authenticated with the authentication server. Because see, ASA is very simple and having less space, no? If you have 2000, 3000 users, then how this local database will suffice? My ASA is not carrying any hard disk, no? Got it? ASA is having very less memory. 2-3 user database, it's okay, administrator. But if you have more users, like 2000, 3000 users, How are you going to make an entry of 2000, 3000? Plus, you have very less flexibility. If those people have wrong username or wrong password for 3 attempts, then how he is going to tackle with this? All those stuff is not possible with ASA. You need to have a third party server. So Cisco first came out with ACS software, then he brought the hardware, and then now he's having ICE. So try to understand the relationship. The client is supplicant, authenticator, one who receives the connection. He has to tell him, boss, wait, you have to first authenticate me. Me means just send me your credential. Who are you? He might ask this guy. Somebody has come and is asking me to go out. Say, ask him, man, who are you? Send him authentication. So this guy will send him authentication. So this might be the fourth step. He comes and say, I'm going, I want Google. I want to go on internet. Wait. He'll go immediately to take. Somebody has come and asking me to Google what to do. Is like, send him authentication. Who are you? Okay, so he sent me. Then this fellow will reply, I am Mirza. My password is Cisco. I am Shiva. My password is Cisco. Okay. He say, please check him. Say, he's okay, good. He's our users. Take it. Google. So if you are using this kind of relationship, then the commands are different. See, if you are using local database, then the command is different. If you are using ACS, then the command is different. You have to specify where is the server. There might be one server, there might be two servers. Okay. So I hope you understood. If you have server, then we'll give the information about the server, and we also have to give the protocol, because I told you, when this box sends the information to the server, might be ICE or might be the ACS, then there is some communication protocol between these two. This, if it is a switch, then EPOL is the communication protocol for .1x, extensible authentication protocol over LAN. For port based authentication, there is a protocol called EPOL, extensible authentication protocol over LAN. And what is the protocol working here between the server and the ASA? It's radius, TACAX plus, might be Kerberos. There are many protocols. They are all there with this guy. At least ACS was clubbed with all those protocols. It is nothing but authentication protocols. Clear? So if you really have servers, then you have to say, but see, you remember that if you are doing telnet, HTTP and SSH, you can forward this traffic to the server, who is either 10.1.10 or 11, that is the ACS server. But in case if that is not working, local, because administrator cannot get stuck. No, he has to take the charge. Okay, so I have a list of commands. Today we did this, last time we did this. You can do the same thing with the help of server also. But remember, for inside and outside, you don't have an option. You don't have in case if the server is not working local. No, local database is only for administrator, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 administrator. You cannot have 3,000 administrators. No, so that option is not available. In case if the server is not working, go for local database. That is possible in the management part. If the administrator is not getting access from the server, then he can go to local database, get himself authenticated and try to access through telnet, http and serial firewall. But you don't have this option here available. Earlier we used to say local, now we are telling go to the server group XYZ. XYZ is just a name for this particular group. What is there in the group? Two servers. It can be two, it can be 10 servers. Clear, guys? AAA. What changes I did? So today we wasted a lot of time in internet and this ASA. We'll see the next lecture. We'll start with context. Okay. I hope you understood today's lecture. Okay. Any doubt, you can ask me the next lecture. Okay. Any questions? Anyone? Okay, then we'll meet in the next session. Anyone? Any question? Yeah. It is nowadays stopped. No, I told you ICE is coming in picture. So ACS is gone. Access control server. Okay. Definitely we have ICE topic also. Just telling you that these were the commands for ACS server, access control. Okay. Because I have been in industry for a long time. So we used to work on ACS. So I was just telling you. Okay. Now we don't have ACS. We have ICE. Okay. So good night. Take care.